The story of Malin Kundang comes from the province of West Sumatra, Indonesia. The legend of Malin Kundang itself tells of a child who was disobedient and cursed to be a stone. Long ago, there was a story in a fishing village on Air Manis Beach in Padang, West Sumatra. There is a widow named Mande Rubaya who lives with her son, Malin Kundang. Mande Rubaya really loves and pampers Malin Kundang. Malin then grew up to be a diligent and obedient child. When Mande Rubaya was old, he was only able to work as a cake seller, to provide for himself and his only child. One day, Malin fell seriously ill, until his life almost died, but in the end he was saved thanks to his mother's hard work. After recovering from his illness, he is increasingly loved. They are mother and son who love each other. When Malin was an adult, he asked his mother for permission to go wander to the city, because at that time there was a large ship docked at Air Manis Beach. "Don't, Malin. I'm afraid something will happen to you in the overseas lands. Just stay here, accompany mother," said her sad mother after hearing Malin's wish to go abroad. "Mom, calm down, nothing will happen to me," said Malin, holding his mother's hand. "This is your opportunity, mother, because once a year there is not necessarily a large ship docked at this beach. I want to change our fate, Mom, let it be," Malin pleaded. "Okay, Mom, let me. Hurry back, mother will always be waiting for you, son," said his mother, crying. Although with a heavy heart, finally Mande Rubaya allowed Malin to go. Then Malin was provided with 7 packs of rice wrapped in banana leaves, "For your provisions on the trip," he said as he handed it to Malin. After that, Malin Kundang left for overseas, leaving his mother alone. Day after day passed. The day seemed slow for Mande Rubaya. Every morning and evening Mande Rubaya looks out at the sea. "How far have you sailed, son?" he asked himself as he continued to look at the sea. He always prayed that his son would always be safe and return quickly. Sometime later, when a ship came docked, he always asked how his son was. "Have you seen my son, Malin? Is he okay? When is he coming home?" he asked. But every time he asked the crew or the captain, he never got an answer. Malin never left any goods or messages to his mother. For years, Mande Rubaya kept asking, but there was never an answer, until his body grew old, and now his way began to bend. One day Mande Rubaya received news from the captain who had brought Malin. The captain gave Mande Rubaya happy news. "Mande, do you know, your son is now married to a beautiful girl, the daughter of a very rich nobleman," he said at the time. "Malin, hurry home, son, mother is old. Malin, when are you coming home?" she moaned pitifully every night. He was sure his son would come. Sure enough, not long after, on a sunny day, from a distance, a majestic and beautiful ship sailed towards the shore. The villagers began to gather. They thought the ship belonged to a sultan or a prince. They welcomed him happily. Mande Rubaya was very happy to hear this. He always prayed for his son to be safe and soon returned to visit him. The light of joy began to come back to him. When the ship began to dock, a pair of young people were seen standing on the bridge. Their clothes glittered in the sun, their faces were brightly decorated with smiles because they were happy to be greeted with joy. Mande Rubaya also jostled to approach the ship. His heart pounded hard when he saw the young man on the ship. He was very sure that the young man was his son, Malin Kundang. Before the village elders had time to welcome him, Malin's mother approached Malin first. He immediately hugged Malin tightly, for fear of losing his child again. "Malin, my son. You're right, my son, right?" she said, holding back sobs of joy. "Why have you not given news for so long?" Malin was surprised to be hugged by the old woman who was dressed in rags. He couldn't believe that she was his mother. Before he could think of speaking, his beautiful wife spat and said, "Is this ugly woman your mother? Why did you lie to me in the first place? Didn't you say back then that your mother was a noble on the same level as me?" he said sarcastically. Hearing his wife's harsh words, Malin Kundang immediately pushed his mother to the ground. "Crazy woman. I'm not your son," he said harshly. Mande Rubaya could not believe his son's behavior. He fell to his knees saying, "Malin, Malin, my son. I am your mother. Why are you like this, son?" Malin Kundang didn't care about his mother's words. He disowned his mother. He is ashamed of his wife. Seeing the woman prostrating to hug her legs, Malin kicked her while saying, "Hey, crazy girl. My mother is not like you. Poor and dirty." The old woman lay on the sand, crying and hurting. The people who saw it were stunned and then returned to their respective homes. Mande Rubaya fainted and lay alone. When he realized Sweetwater Beach was deserted, he saw Malin's ship getting farther away. He did not think that Malin, who used to be loved, would do this. His heart ached and hurt, then his hand was raised to the sky. He then prayed with a heavy heart, "Yes, God, if he is not my son, I forgive him for what he did earlier. But if he really is my son named Malin Kundang, I ask for your justice, O God," he said sadly while crying. Soon the weather in the middle of the sea, which was previously sunny, suddenly turned dark. It suddenly rained very heavily. Suddenly a big storm came, hitting Malin Kundang's ship, then a thunderous bolt of lightning. At that moment the ship was smashed to pieces, then carried by the waves to the beach. The next day when the morning sun appeared on the eastern horizon, the storm had subsided. On the beach, you can see pieces of the ship that have turned to stone. That's Malin Kundang's ship. Looks like a rock that resembles a human body. That is the body of Malin Kundang, an ungodly child who was cursed by his mother to be a stone for being disobedient. Between the rocks were swimming anchovies, mullet, and mackerel. That said, the fish came from the body fragments of his wife who kept looking for Malin Kundang. The story of the legend of Malin Kundang has a message that the little one can take, namely, love both parents when it is difficult and happy, and don't forget the services of parents who have loved and educated since childhood. That is a children's tale from West Sumatra, the story of Malin Kundang, the child who was disobedient to his mother. Hopefully it can be a lesson, to be told to the children. That is the story of Malin Kundang from West Sumatra, Indonesia. See you in the next story. Don't forget to like, share this video, subscribe and thank you.